Joanna Macy, sage, venerable elder, she who hears the cries of the world as lover, world as self, which is her most well-known writings, begins with gratitude. It's amazing how many wise, kind, sage people point to gratitude. We don't remember anything else. Gratitude. I always think that was Steve Stuckey's practice as he was dying, very painful and sudden death of pancreatic cancer. I mean, it was before that, always gratitude. But he continued it through the difficulty of a very hard death. And that's, so when I say that, he always comes to mind. This Prajna Paramita he gave to his wife and his wife gave to me. So this isn't just gratitude when it's simple and easy. This is a practice of gratitude because we never know what's going to happen. Sometimes I think, you know what, if the world ends, I just want to be with everybody. And I don't want to be with everybody in fear and dread. And we're all going to go over the edge of the cliff. I just want to go over the edge of the cliff with everybody, with gratitude and love that we are sharing this human heart and life. And let's hope we don't go over the edge of the cliff. So, okay, having said that, let me say a little bit of what Joanna Macy has to say. We have received an inestimable gift to be alive in this beautiful self-organizing universe, to participate in the dance of life with senses to perceive it, lungs that breathe it, organs that draw nourishment from it. It is a wonder beyond words. And it is, moreover, an extraordinary privilege to be accorded a human life with self-reflexive consciousness that brings awareness of our own actions and the ability to make choices. It lets us choose to take part in the healing of our world. Maybe we won't go over the edge of the cliff after all, or there'll be little ones, but we'll learn how to fly. And we'll heal each other and the whole world together in the process. She says, gratitude for the gift of life is the primary wellspring of all religions, the hallmark of the mystic, the source of all true art, yet we so easily take this gift for granted. That is why so many spiritual traditions begin with thanksgiving, to remind us that for all our woes and worries, our existence itself is an unearned benefaction which we could never of ourselves create. We began with the Mohawk Thanksgiving prayer. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. Now our minds are one. And gratitude for Earth Mother, for she gives us all that we need for life. For the waters, water is life. For the fish, we send our greetings and thanks. For the plants, they sustain many life forms. The food plants, since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and berries have helped the people survive. The medicine herbs, from the beginning, they were instructed to take away sickness. The animals, they have many things to teach us as people. The trees, many people of the world use a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. We greet and thank the tree life. Birds, the Creator gave them beautiful songs, and each day they remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The four winds, they help us bring the change of seasons. Grandfather Thunder, bringing with lightning and thundering voices water that renews life. Eldest brother, the sun, each day without fail, traveling the sky, bringing the light of a new day. Grandmother Moon, our oldest grandmother, the moon who lights the nighttime sky and governs the movement of the ocean tides. The stars, when we travel at night, they guide us home. The enlightened teachers, when we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. The Creator, for all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together as one and give thanks. Closing words. We are arriving over and over at the place where we end our words. Of all the things we have named, it is not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. Now our minds are one. I've only recited part of the Thanksgiving prayer. Might be a beautiful exercise sometime to do our own Thanksgiving prayer. Part of this Earth Dharma. I want to share with you one more that I love and come back to over and over again. It's a love letter to the Milky Way by a rap artist, Poets for Global Justice. I want to tell you about love. There are approximately 1 trillion galaxies I want to tell you about. In the Milky Way, there are about 100 billion stars. I want to tell you, love is the breath of the cosmos. I want to write a love letter to the Milky Way. Everything is an expression of the galaxy. My 30 trillion cells, the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, the 16 Bodhisattva precepts, the 7 energy centers of the body, everything is the Milky Way, including my lover and every kiss of every lover that's ever lived. The deep sky, the ubiquity of spirit, the DNA of dreams, the interlocking patterns of the cosmic constellations. Cosmos and justice are synonyms with beauty, but parts of the Milky Way don't give off light. Sometimes it feels like I've got ground zero in my heart. The dark sun bleeds shadows. The dark sun leaves shadows in everything. The forecast calls for scattered to broken skies. If there wasn't so much love, there wouldn't be so much pain. It's like love is the nervous system of the universe, bringing us joy and sorrow. I inherit the voice of the Milky Way in my dreams. The entire galaxy revolves around a single drop of wine. Your skin, the texture of the cosmos, the religion beyond religion. I want to know you like the wind knows the canyons or the rain knows the rivulets. Lightning is continuously striking in 100 places every moment. The universe spills through our dreams. The future belongs to the most compelling story. Even the word love is not adequate to define the fabric of space-time. If we could sense everything at once, like Krishna entering history with all the memory of his past incarnations, then I could tell you about love. We are all entering and being entered by history, past, present, and future, each moment. This to me is one of the most beautiful parts of what the Dharma brings forward, what Dogen brings forward. Time, timelessness, space is all right here, right now. What we do, the choices we make, how we be in this present moment. It is our joy, our love, that arises out of a deep awareness of the pain and suffering of the world and the beauty of it. If we do it out of anxiety and worry for the future, we will miss the wonder and the possibilities that are alive right here and right now. This, I think, is our job as practitioners, as human beings, but it is part of, to me, the deepest beauty of the Dharma teachings. We touched on the Avatamsaka Sutra when we studied Thich Nhat Hanh. He loves that sutra, and the Lotus Sutra, two sutras that I also love. Lots of people don't. Because they ask you to keep going beyond and beyond and beyond, and to land right here in this moment. Lucky for me and for us, Joanna Macy also loves the Avatamsaka Sutra and the sense of time and timelessness. It gives her nourishment and hope. It gives her the ground to do difficult work and to not turn away. So I wanted to read to you how she closes, actually, brings everything to fruition. She talks about Fei Zhang and the 3 times. She says, I am inspired by the ancient teacher of the Dharma. If you think ancient teachers aren't here right now, you're not listening. Look at the earth and pick up a rock. Time and space is right here, right now. So why can't the voices of the ancient teachers be calling out to us, just like the sun and the wind and the moon that's reaching across time and space? Living 14 centuries ago, Fei Zhang was a scholar of the Huineng scriptures of Mahayana Buddhism. That came to fruition in the Avatamsaka Sutra. These offer awesomely elaborate descriptions and imagery to convey the Buddhist teachings of dependent co-arising. Vast cosmic scenes spanning all space and time, peopled with astronomical numbers of beings and bodhisattvas, unfold the logic of that teaching to reveal, along with the relatedness of all phenomena, that their interpenetration as well. It unfolds the logic of the teaching. Mindfulness, please pay attention. Pay attention in logical linear time. Nobody's asking you to be any place but right here. And This moment is interrelated with all phenomena, interpenetrated across time and space. An image conveying that radical mutuality, like an early promise of today's holographic view of the universe, is the Jewel Net of Indra. Do you ever imagine yourself in a hologram as opposed to in one-dimensional or two-dimensional or even three-dimensional space? I mean, what if you just for a moment drop body and mind and just let yourself imagine being in a holographic, whatever you think that means, universe? Changes everything. Contemporary scholar Francis Cook describes it this way: the Jewel Net of Indra. Far away in the heavenly abode of the great god Indra, there was a wonderful net which has been hung by some cunning artificer in such a manner that it stretches out indefinitely in all directions. In accordance with the extravagant tastes of the deities, the artificer has hung a single glittering jewel at the net's every node. And since the net itself is infinite in number, the jewels are infinite in number. There hang the jewels, glittering like stars of the first magnitude, a wonderful sight to behold. If we now arbitrarily select one of those jewels for inspection and look closely at it, we will discover that in its polished surface there are reflected all the other jewels in the net, infinite in number. Not only that, but each of the jewels reflected in this one jewel is also reflecting all the other jewels, so that the process of reflection is infinite. If your mind isn't being blown just a little bit, take a breath and let your imagination open and soar. The Empress of China was so fascinated by these scriptures that she ordered all 80 volumes to be translated from the Sanskrit. And to celebrate the completion of the project, she invited Master Feizhong to the palace to preach about Indra's net and the interpenetration of all phenomena. She thanked him for his brilliance and then asked him for something more. She said, "You have explained the teachings to me with great clarity. Sometimes I can almost see the vast truth of it in my mind's eye, but all this I realize is still conjecture." And she reminded Feizhong of the Buddha's insistence that direct experience, don't take anybody else's word for anything. Direct experience, even this. And she asked for an experiential teaching. Can you give me a demonstration that will reveal the great truth of all in one and one in all? What would you say? What would you do? Well, I'll tell you what Feizhong did. This is a great story passed down across time. A few days later, Feizhong escorted the Empress to the demonstration he had prepared for her in one of the palace rooms. Mirrors were fixed to its four walls and corners, as well as the ceiling and floor. And then the scholar placed a small statue of the Buddha in the center of the room with a candle beside it. Can you imagine it? "Oh, how marvelous!" cried the Empress, beholding in awe the panorama of infinite reflections. And she thanked Feizhong for helping her to know the great teaching not only with her intellect, but with her senses. And then afterwards, because obviously the Empress had many questions and wanted to know and wake up through her own experience, she also wanted to know about the interplay of past, present, and future. And Fei Zhang said, well, that might be possible, but it would be more difficult, and he did not have the means at hand. Joanna Macy, though, is not so easily dissuaded. She brings forward the words of Sister Rosalie Bertel, an environmental health radiologist and leader of the Bhopal and Chernobyl medical commissions, who says, modern science, every being who will ever live in Earth is here right now. Where? In our gonads and ovaries and in our DNA. Philosophers and mystics say that chronological time is a construct, a function of our mentality. There is also, they say, a dimension in which all time is simultaneous, where we exist in past and future, where we stand shoulder to shoulder with our ancestors and posterity. Not bad for a scientist, huh? I think there are a lot of scientists who hang out on this edge. Joanna Macy says, this is the context that gives her courage, that the imagined presence of all the future ones and the past ones come to us like grace and help us through our own life. If we can but just stop and listen and bring gratitude and wonder and awe, because codependent arising is a two-way street. Our karma, the consequence of our actions, now extends into geological time periods and even as long as the Earth's lifespan to date, which is 4.5 billion years. And the bonds we forge to future beings can bring them into our lives in ways unforeseen in a linear view. We need them and they need us. Joanna Macy says, sometimes I find myself praying not only for them, those past ones, those future ones, but also to them. It's an active, alive, in the moment prayer. Here's part of Joanna Macy's prayer. You live inside us, beings of the future, in the spiral ribbons of our cells. You are here. Oh, you, who will walk this earth when we are gone, stir us awake. Behold through our eyes the beauty of this world. You have as yet no faces we can see, no names we can say, but we need only hold you in our mind and you teach us. Patience. You attune us to measures of time where healing can happen, where soil and souls can mend. You reveal courage within us that we had not suspected, love that we had not owned. Oh, you who come after, help us remember we are your ancestors. O you who came before, you are our ancestors. A shining, shimmering Indra's net, filling us with gladness for the work that must be done. So I just had the thought, there is no cliff to go off the edge of. There's just leaps that we make together in this shimmering jewel net of Indra, each one of us taking our place, waking up, feeling our feet, taking responsibility, letting our imaginations and our creativity save us over and over and over again, along with all beings. So what if I put you, well, I'm not going to ask you.